History isn't just what happened, it's also what almost happened. A single vote, one decision, one moment. What if events went another way? Join us on the journey as we explore what if the Mongols marched across Europe. In the winter of 1241, Europe was already broken. Poland lay in ruins, Hungary was shattered, entire armies had been erased in days. Chroniclers wrote of horsemen who rode without rest, arrows that fell like rain, and commanders who seemed to know their enemies' plans before battle began. They were the armies of the Mongol Empire, forged by Genghis Khan, perfected by his descendants, and Europe stood exposed. In our history, the Mongols turned back. A great Khan died in distant Asia, and politics pulled the armies east. But imagine this: no recall, no withdrawal, no reprieve. The horsemen do not turn around. They keep riding. In this timeline, Batu Khan receives word from the imperial court, not to return, but to secure the western frontier permanently. The logic is simple. Hungary's plains offer pasture. Germany's rivers offer trade. Italy's cities offer tribute and wealth beyond measure. Europe is divided, technologically inferior in mobility, and bound by feudal obligations that slow coordination. To the Mongols, it looks inevitable. Vienna falls first. Siege engineers trained in China and Persia dismantle walls that Europeans believed invincible. The Holy Roman Empire fractures under pressure. Princes negotiate separately. Tribute begins to flow east. There is no single dramatic fall of Europe. There is a slow suffocation. By 1245, the Danube corridor is Mongol territory. By 1250, France stands alone. French knights gather beneath banners of faith and honor, convinced that heavy cavalry will shatter the invaders. It does not. Horse archers withdraw in feigned panic, luring armored nobles into open ground. Encirclement follows. Discipline overwhelms valor. Paris does not burn, it surrenders. The Mongols understand something critical. Ruling is more profitable than destroying. Cities that submit keep their local rulers. Tax systems are reorganized. Military oversight is installed. Roads are secured. Italy proves more complicated. Mountain passes slow movement. City-states negotiate fiercely. Venice chooses trade over resistance. Genoa resists and becomes an example. Rome, surrounded and cut off, opens its gates before famine completes the work. The Pope survives, but now under imperial protection and supervision. The medieval political order does not collapse in chaos. It is absorbed into a continental empire. By 1270, Europe is no longer a collection of feudal kingdoms. It is a western extension of a Eurasian system stretching from the Pacific to the Atlantic. The Silk Road becomes permanent infrastructure. Trade routes are fortified. Caravan cities expand. Administrative census-taking spreads into Western Europe centuries earlier than in our world. Gunpowder, already known in the East, spreads rapidly westward. Warfare modernizes early. Castles evolve from fortresses into bureaucratic centers. Feudal obligations fade as taxation replaces personal loyalty. Knighthood becomes ceremonial tradition. Christianity survives, but it no longer defines politics. Religion becomes regulated rather than sovereign. There is no Protestant Reformation, no continent-shattering religious wars. There is stability and surveillance. Paper currency appears in Europe centuries ahead of schedule. State record-keeping becomes sophisticated. Movement of goods and people is tracked. The Mongol administrative style reshapes Europe's political DNA. Without fierce competition among independent European states, there is no desperate race for maritime trade routes. No Portuguese explorers pushing down Africa's coast to outmaneuver rivals. No Columbus funded by a newly unified Spain. The Atlantic remains secondary. Innovation still happens, but it happens within a continental system, not among rival kingdoms seeking advantage. Printing spreads, but its earliest uses serve state logistics before revolutionary pamphlets. Gunpowder weaponry matures under imperial direction, not in chaotic competition. There is no European scramble for colonies. The Americas remain untouched by Eurasian conquest for centuries longer. When contact eventually occurs, it is managed by a consolidated Eurasian authority acting strategically, not competitively. Global power remains continental. The center of gravity of the world stays anchored between East Asia, Central Asia, and Europe, unified under a shared political legacy. Like all empires, this one eventually fractures. Regional Khanates assert independence. European territories develop distinct administrative identities, but the structure remains centralized and bureaucratic. Europe's later nation-states inherit imperial governance traditions rather than feudal rivalries. There is no Magna Carta moment establishing early constitutional limits. No French Revolution redefining sovereignty. No cascade of liberal revolutions across the 18th and 19th centuries. Change happens slowly. Reform is negotiated from above, not seized from below. Europe industrializes, but under coordinated policy. Railroads follow Silk Road routes. Energy networks reinforce continental unity. The Atlantic powers never dominate the globe. Now imagine 2026 in this world. Global power is not defined by the Atlantic Alliance. It is defined by a Eurasian Union whose roots stretch back to Mongol administration. Cities like Beijing, Samarkand, Istanbul, and Paris form a continuous economic spine. The Silk Road is no longer a metaphor. It is fiber optic cable, high-speed rail, energy pipelines, and synchronized financial systems. New York exists, but as a regional hub, not a global capital. Democracy exists, but cautiously. Elections are structured within tightly regulated frameworks. Stability is prized above ideological competition. Political culture values order, predictability, and long-term planning. There are fewer revolutions, fewer sudden upheavals. Individual rights exist, but are balanced explicitly against state authority. Religion remains personal. There are no continent-defining religious conflicts in early modern history. The Reformation never fractures Europe. The Americas developed differently. Without early European colonization, indigenous civilizations endured longer. They adapted gradually to global contact and integrated into Eurasian trade networks later. Global inequality still exists, but it emerged from centralized planning, not colonial rivalry. The world feels stable, predictable, managed. In this timeline, the Mongols did not destroy Europe. They redirected it. Europe never conquered the world. It was conquered first. The result is not dystopia. It is not utopia. It is a civilization shaped by order rather than rebellion, by administration rather than revolution, by continuity rather than disruption. Our world is chaotic, competitive, often violent, but it is also shaped by individualism, by bursts of radical change, by revolutions that reshaped power from the bottom up. In the world where the Mongols kept riding, those explosions never happen. History rarely hinges on a single winter, but sometimes it does. And in 1241, as the horsemen paused on the plains of Hungary, the future of the modern world waited for a decision. In our timeline, they turned back. In another, they didn't. And everything changed. What are history's what-ifs you'd like to see explored? Leave a comment and don't forget to subscribe.